An indie game is basically every game that's been developed by an independent game studio. We associate these games with small bedroom game studios and a team eating noodles for 12 months because they have no money. However, some games we now call indie games are supported by publishers and have millions of dollars to invest in production. For this list, we didn't take any of these points into consideration. However, we prefer to look at games that are a bit edgy. Now let's have a look at 10 awesome upcoming indie games for 2017.
Freedom is a privilege. Yours has been revoked.
Pyre is the next game for the studio that made Bastion and Transistor. It's a party-based role-playing game in which you lead a group of exiles to their freedom. They will need to fight through a vast and mystical purgatory.
Then prove your worth, lest your adversaries prove theirs first.
As you can expect from these guys, Pyre has lots of atmosphere. You make decisions on the world map, while the core of the gameplay is very fast-paced. Pyre will even incorporate a versus mode, where you can play against your friends.
Go forth in glory, or be banished here forever.
Knights and Bikes is a co-op adventure about childhood. This game is inspired by The Goonies, Secret of Mana, and Earthbound. It's set on an island in the 1980s. Its medieval history used to be a tourist attraction, but now its biggest attraction turned out to be fake. The island is in deep financial trouble. You get to play as Nessa and Demelza as they embark on a quest for the truth behind the legends of the island. They will recruit new friends and perhaps find the hero the island so desperately needs. Pray for the Gods is an action survival game that's set on a frozen island. The hero of this game has been sent to the edge of the world to discover the truth behind a never-ending winter. You will have to defeat god-like giants. How you defeat them is all up to you. You can dodge their attacks and try and climb on them and kill them, or you can be stealthy and use an element of surprise. You will have to discover the weaknesses of each giant in order to succeed. On top of all that, the frozen world is unforgiving, and that's where the survival part comes in. Crossing Souls is a bit like the Stranger Things of video games. Inspired by 80s cartoons Final Fantasy and The Legend of Zelda, this action-adventure game has you exploring, solving puzzles, and fighting against an army to avoid a war between worlds. The kids found an amazing artifact and are now the only ones with the power to stop an interdimensional invasion. This gets them involved in a huge conspiracy with the US government. Without a doubt, this is a game to look forward to. Chasm might be the Metroid game you're looking for. This procedurally generated platform adventure takes inspiration from hack-and-slash dungeon crawlers and games like Metroid and Castlevania. You play a young soldier who needs to investigate why a town suddenly became silent. Upon arrival, he's magically trapped inside the village and now has to go inside the mines and find the source of all of this. The world of Chasm is full of exciting treasures, deadly enemies, and mysterious secrets. Challenging is one of the key descriptions for Death's Gambit. This action role-playing game places you on an alien medieval planet filled with beasts, knights, and horrors. You are an agent of death, and it's your job to find out where the source of immortality that plagues the island comes from. You will face off against monsters, but thankfully you have an arsenal of weapons and abilities at your disposal. You can build a lot of weapons and use newly learnt spells to defeat your enemies. But be ready to die a lot.
The gates whispered of adventure, but in the village of Rinoka, everyone screamed about gold.
Indie games often tend to have roguelike elements, and it's no different with Moonlighter. This action role-playing game is about Will, a shopkeeper who is feeling very adventurous. Secretly, he dreams of becoming a hero. He will venture into deep, dark dungeons to find stuff to sell. He needs to defeat enemies and obtain loot. The deeper he goes, the harder the bosses will become. Moonlighter offers tons of cool items, many enemies, and just one shop to sell your stuff. Doko Roko is a vertical platformer where the world keeps building upwards. You need to go higher and higher up the tower in an ever-changing landscape. You carry a sword to defeat your enemies as you dodge, strike, and parry your way to the top. A trading system allows you to increase your power, and of course you will find dozens of swords that are even more epic. The world of Doko Roko is pixelated, but thanks to an insane amount of detail, it looks very much alive. In Paradise Lost: First Contact, you're an alien who's trying to escape a research facility. It's a 2D adventure game that puts an emphasis on stealth. It also embraces elements from platform and puzzle games. Along the way, your alien will level up and obtain new powers that you can pick. Every situation can be approached in several ways. The powers you pick also determine how you're able to reach the objective. You need to escape the facility as you discover more about the evil people working there. Oh, and there are epic boss fights. You know that you're having a bad day when Loki messes up your destiny. Now the Shield Maiden must venture into Norse worlds to discover what Faith has in store for her. Ita is an action role-playing game. One of the interesting parts is that you can slowly level up and give powers to your Shield Maiden. You can also give her more powerful upgrades that disappear upon death. Loot could be destroyed when you die, motivating you even more to stay alive. This sure looks like a hardcore game. We really hope we have shown you some cool games that you didn't know about yet. Do you want more indie game tips from us? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to follow us on social media, download our app, and have a look in our shop.
A new world to explore. With new rules to understand.